And we are live, and welcome for this weekly live stream on the latest and greatest news in Ethereum and DeFi. And today we will be talking about front running on the Ethereum blockchain, leverage yield farming for UNI token using the SET protocol. We'll be talking of the Kucoin hack. We'll be talking of NFTs and many other cool stuff, and we'll do the Q&A at the end as usual. For those who don't know me, I'm Julian, your host, and on my channel, Eat the Blocks, I teach DeFi, blockchain development, and how to find your first blockchain job. And before we continue, quick shout out to my courses. If you want to become a blockchain developer and make 100k per year, register for my course Six-Figure Blockchain Developer. And if you want to learn how to do flash loan arbitrage, check my other course on flash loan. And I'll quickly say hi to the people in the chat. So J Root, Neraj, Douglas, Mud, Circle of Blessing, Signals. Welcome Pascal, welcome everybody. So what's happening this week? So let's quickly move on to Ether price. Is going a bit down this week, unfortunately. Everything is really a bit shaky before the election in the US. Apparently there might be a government shutdown. It's really crazy. So the volatility will go up a lot, so don't be scared. So what you can do in a situation where the volatility goes up and you don't know where it's going is that you can use an option strategy where you basically sell you basically buy the volatility, and when the volatility goes up, you sell it. And in order to do this, in order to profit on volatility, you can use an option strategy called a straddle. I'll put it in the chat. So basically, you have to buy a call option and buy a sell option at the same time with the same expiration date and strike price. And you can do this on the Ethereum blockchain with a project called Opin. I've mentioned this project before. Just a quick note here. This is an advanced trading strategy, so don't trade too much money because it's really easy to lose money with this. But that's a way to trade volatility without taking any position. You don't know where, if it's going up, if it's going down. Yeah. All right. So next, let's have a quick look at the gas fees. So this week is going down a little bit, but it stay high. So I mean, say slightly better, but still too expensive. It's not great. Okay, so next, let's have a look at the market cap of DeFi. So we are at 18 billion. It's 1.5 billion more than last week. So it's good. We are back on a growth mode. And if you check the growth of Uniswap, this is quite impressive because now Uniswap is above 2 billion in total market value. So I mean, the whole episode with Sushi Swap, where you can see Sushi Swap managed to steal some liquidity from Uniswap. This is all over. Like, now Uniswap is back on track and better than ever. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so next, in terms of the prices of DeFi token, it's not great. A lot of red here for the past week, but it's slightly better than last week. I don't know if you remember, 1 week ago it was all red, but like with double digit for every coin. So we've started a little bit the recovery. And we still had some nice progression for some token like SNX, Bancor. So I mean, we are slowly recovering. And yeah, I know for the worst token like Cream Finance, that's basically a fork of Compound. Curve, yeah, but Curve was really highly valued. D-Force, yeah. So I mean, it can be a good buying opportunity. If you're an optimist. Okay, so next, so let's see the rate a little bit. So the rate, nothing crazy. DAI on DYDX, yeah, 5.37. Yeah, this is a nice yield. But the rate, like a couple of months ago, when we were beginning the yield farming thing with Compound, the rates were really stupid with I think you for BAT, for BAT it was something like 30% on compound, but yeah, now we're really back to normal. All right. So now let's start to talk about the DeFi news. So this week on crypto Twitter, we talk a lot of NFT, non-fungible token, because there was some investment fund that made some big purchase in NFT. And so I wanted to take advantage of this to mention NFT, because when we are in DeFi, we ignore NFT, but that's a shame because actually I think there is something to do with NFT. So let me, for those of you who don't know what are NFT, so let me show you. So it's basically, this represents some unique artwork that are minted in the blockchain. So of course you can just do a screenshot and have it, but this is not the point. The point is like there is an official owner. So if you click on any NFT, then you can see the official owner. Where is it? How comes? Well, this is somewhere. So there is an official owner, and people are really, owned by, you can see the owner here. So people are really, really crazy about this. And so this is an area where there is a lot of DeFi to be built, because basically what we need is to build a Uniswap for NFT, a decentralized exchange where you can buy and sell some NFT. So currently this is OpenSea, but OpenSea is more, it's not exactly like Uniswap. This is more a little bit like Craigslist. Like if you want to buy or sell something, you post an announcement. But I think people want something maybe a little bit more simple to use, like Uniswap, where maybe you have some sort of market maker that can buy your artwork right away without really waiting. But this is difficult to do because the pricing of an NFT is very difficult to establish. How can you decide what's the price of such or such NFT? There is no algorithm really. So I think one way to solve this problem would be maybe with AI. So you have an AI that scans the image and according to some parameter is able to give it a price, and based on that, market makers will be able to make some offer. So I don't think this is something we can solve just with blockchain. Maybe a combination of blockchain and AI. So if you want to launch your own project, like that might be a good idea. This is probably a very advanced project, but also if you are the first one to do it, it will be successful. That's for sure. All right. So next, we're going to talk a little bit of front running. So what is front running? So in traditional market, outside of blockchain, what's happening is, let's say I'm a big company, I'm Microsoft, and I want to sell a lot of stock of let's say I'm Goldman Sachs, and I want to buy a lot of Microsoft. So I will use what is called a broker. This is kind of an intermediary to make this order. I will say, hey, I want to buy for a lot of token of Microsoft stock, and so the broker will make the order on behalf of me. But what's possible is that the broker, before he make the order, he can create an order for himself, because he knows that the market is going to go up. So he make the order for himself before, maybe a little bit smaller than 100 million, maybe just a few million. Then he put the order of Goldman Sachs, and then the market goes up like crazy. And so after, the broker can sell his Microsoft stock, and he makes a lot of money. But for Goldman Sachs, this is not great because the price they end up paying is higher. So this is something that is really forbidden on financial markets. You can have, like, if brokers do this, they can go to prison. But of course, sometimes it happens. But on the blockchain, this is much more prevalent because, first of all, there is no law against this. And second, it's very easy to do for miners. Because miners, they have access to the mempool. So the mempool is basically a list of all the transactions that were not mined. And they can do some analysis. And if they see that the transaction is going to move the market a lot, then same thing. They're going to do a front running. And that's what actually happened for some guy who wanted to buy a lot of pickle. This is like one of these DeFi food projects. And so they have a governance token, and some guy wanted to buy for $600,000 of Pico, and a front runner saw that, and he placed his order before, and yeah, and he moved up the market. And after the original transaction was mined, but the guy ended up buying Pico at a much higher price. So yeah, that's really not good for the blockchain ecosystem. So this is an example of simple front running, but now we have even something more crazy, which is generalized front running, where front runners don't even scan for a specific kind of transaction, but they are basically what they try to do is they try to replay all the transaction of the mempool by changing the sending address to their address. And if they see that this transaction is profitable, then they discard the original transaction from the mempool, and they send their own transaction with a higher gas fee. And so we have example of this already happening. So that's a really, really big issue, especially if you do arbitrage. So one solution that I've suggested is in your smart contract, you put a requires statement. It's basically a condition that will make the transaction fail. You put a requires statement that requires that only your address can succeed. So of course, this will work if you do an arbitrage by going through one of your smart contracts. If you use only the smart contract of someone else directly, you can't put this require statement. So you need first to deploy your own smart contract, put this require statement, and so if the bot try to replay your transaction, it will fail, because when you replace the address with his address, then your require statement is going to make the transaction fail. And so I think we can get protected like this, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you think my reasoning is wrong for some reason. Okay, so that's it for front runner. It is a very important topic, especially if you are into arbitrage and liquidation. So next, I wanted to talk about the SET protocol that introduced a new yield farming strategy. So if you never heard of the SET protocol, that's basically a protocol that allows anybody to create your own investment fund. So you create an investment strategy in a smart contract, and after, people are able to invest in your contract. This is a little bit like a DAO if you want. And so the SET protocol, someone introduced a new trading strategy for yield farming. So exactly recursive yield farming on Uniswap. So it works like this. It has 4 steps. So step 1, you invest into the ETH DAI pool on Uniswap. So step 2, Uniswap is going to give you some UNI tokens. So that's the yield farming mechanism of Uniswap. And UNI tokens are the governance tokens of Uniswap. And after, it's going to sell the UNI tokens into an equal value of DAI and ETH, and it's going to reinvest this DAI and ETH into the Uniswap protocol as a liquidity provider. So you're gonna have some UNI tokens again, and I don't know how many times it does this loop, but you can do it several times. And so basically what you do is you do leverage, you do a leverage yield farming. So if you had to do it yourself, that'll be a little bit more complex. But if you invest in this investment fund, basically, you just need to do one transaction, and then it does it for you. So that's a very cost-effective way to do it. And it's also a nice little project that you could do yourself. You could actually create the smart contract that does this. Like if you follow all my tutorials on my channel, this is totally something that you could do. So yeah, I thought that was a cool news. So then there was an announcement of Synthetics that will start a testnet for a L2 scaling solution called Optimistic Ethereum. So Synthetics, that's basically an advanced decentralized exchange with some derivative-like features and margin trading. So this is not for beginners. And so there is a token called SNX that is basically the governance token of Synthetics, and you can stake it to make money with that protocol. So far with the high gas prices, it was a bit difficult for the smaller staker to participate, but Now with this L2 scaling solution, you will be able to stake small amounts at a reasonable cost. So right now this is just the test net, so you can't use it for actual trade, but the next phase is to deploy it on a real L2 sidechain. So this is a trend that I told you about a couple of times in my live stream. Since the gas prices are high and Ethereum 2.0 is still not for tomorrow, DeFi protocol are going to take the matter into their own hands and move some of their trading into sidechain. So this is an example of that. So next, a project update from the Loom network. So this is an article by the ex-community manager that is basically lashing out on his former company. So what is the Loom network? So the Loom network, the main product of the Loom network was a L2 scaling solution for blockchain games, but they also did many other things like Crypto Zombies, which is a famous tutorial to learn smart contract programming. It's a game at the same time. It was really, really popular. They also created a sort of a Stack Overflow for blockchain. But with time, we got less and less news of this project. And so finally, people realized that it was dead. So there is still one part which is still alive, which is a Crypto Zombies. They actually sold it to another company. Actually, I was in a discussion to potentially buy it, but it was way too expensive and it didn't make any revenue. So yeah, it didn't make any sense to buy it for me. So going back to this article, so this guy criticized a little bit how they manage the Loom networks. So in my view, the reason why Loom network failed is they try to do too many things at the same time. So they had their main product, which was their L2 scaling solution for blockchain games, and they should have focused on that, but instead they got sidetracked and they built this other thing, Crypto Zombie, and this Stack Overflow for blockchain and many other stuff. So when I saw that, I thought these guys aren't focused. I think this is going in every direction. I don't think that they're gonna really achieve anything, and in the end that was right. So just a word of caution. So here, for your career, you see this guy used to work for them and he does this article which is super negative about the project, a bit angry. We live in a small world and you don't want to burn your relationships. So this guy probably in the future is going to be difficult for him to work again with his former employers. Even if what he says in the article is correct, that maybe like some of them weren't very serious, blah, 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 but you just don't want to burn your relationship. So even if you didn't like your experience at some company, I really, really do not recommend to do that kind of post. You just walk away and that's it. And you don't talk about it. You don't make a fuss. Yeah. So that was just a side note here. Next piece of news. So there was a hack on Kucoin. Some hackers stole $150 million. So Kucoin is a famous crypto exchange in China. And so what happened is, so they got stolen 150 million, including a lot of Tether. And since Tether is centralized, they were able to freeze part of the Ether that was stolen, 20 million. So yeah, that's kind of one example that paint one of these centralized stablecoin under a good light. You make it seems like this is a positive thing to have a centralized stablecoin. So this is true when you have a theft like this can be positive, but in other cases it can be negative when you have the government that decide to censor and dress. So yeah, some good, some bad in centralized stablecoin. In any case, you should never put too much money on any single exchange because even the most secure one, they can always get hacked. And when this happens, in general, they don't reimburse. Okay, so next, quick update on regulation. So the European Commission start working on some regulation for crypto. And I read a little bit the paper and they are interested in stablecoins because they understand that stablecoin clearly will start to challenge fiat currencies. So historically, Europe is not is not the leader in financial regulation. The US is usually the leader, and Europe follow. Where Europe is stronger is in privacy and data regulation. So yeah, in general, for financial regulation, Europe is pretty slow. So I don't expect them to do anything too strict. So they say they start to work on this regulation, but probably like it's not going to come out before a very long time. All right, so next, Dune Analytics raised 2 million seed round. So Dune Analytics is an analytical tool for blockchain. It's really great to figure out the usage patterns of your users, or if you want to validate a business hypothesis for a future project. I actually did a tutorial for the tool on my channel. So why do I mention when a crypto project receives some funding? It's because you, as a blockchain developer who want to find a blockchain job, when you hear that the blockchain company raised money, this means it's time to apply for a job at this company, because applying for a job is all about timing. And when a startup receives funding, they don't want to keep the money in the bank. They have pressure from the investor to spend the money quick. So that means quickly they will switch to hiring mode, and maybe they'll have like 2 or 3 positions at the same time, and they're going to try to fill them as fast as possible. And so you got to apply at this time, just after you see the funding announcement. Then another crypto project that got financed was Gelato Network. So there was 1.2 million. Actually, I don't know this project, but in the investor, there was Galaxy Digital, which is a famous investment fund in crypto. So, I mean, like if you want to judge the quality of a project, check out the quality of the investors, because investors are smart people. They won't invest in a bad project. So, yeah, that's why I think this is a good project, Gelato Network. All right, so that's it for the DeFi news. So now we're going to continue with the developer news. So here, Truffle Nest Box. So Truffle boxes are sort of starter kits to bootstrap a blockchain project very quickly. So this can make you save a lot of time. So this starter kit is for backend only. So Nest is a Node.js framework for creating API. It's very enterprisey, so it's better for bigger project, not small project. It has native support for TypeScript, so if you're into TypeScript, this can be interesting. So this is a new Truffle box. And if you want to find out about other Truffle boxes, so other starter kit, then you can check out the website of Truffle. They have a section on Truffle boxes. Now they have many different kind of Truffle box, and you have some system of rating also, so you can know when a Truffle box is good or not. Next, so still Truffle. So next month, so November 6 and 7, there will be TruffleCon 2020. So this time, this is a virtual conference. The basic access to the conference is free, so go register now. Like, this is one of the few conferences that is just for blockchain developer. So I'm going to mention briefly TruffleCon of last year because I went there. So in 2019, TruffleCon was in Redwood near Seattle. So that was hosted at the headquarters of Microsoft. Redwood is really beautiful city, like with a oak redwood tree, like a huge, I don't know how to say that kind of tree, redwood tree, I think. This huge tree that are beautiful on the West Coast, and so Truffle has a close business relationship with Microsoft, with all their Azure blockchain integrations. That's why they were able to be hosted by Microsoft. So I gave a speech on Drizzle, which is a front-end framework for Truffle. It was a great organization, great people. I would love to do another in-person TruffleCon. Probably we'll have to wait for 2021 when everything reopen. So for this year, we'll have to be content with an online conference. But do register, it's free. It was very good last year, so I'm pretty sure this year is going to be good too. Next, so there is an upcoming hackathon. If online, so it starts in early October, so you still have time to register. You don't need to have a team. You can just apply by yourself. And so the idea is you're going to build a project over the course of a couple of days. Actually, this hackathon lasts the full months. So you have more time to build your project. So hackathons are a great way either to launch a project. So in this case, you can get noticed and you can get some funding at some point, maybe. Or it's a great way also to get noticed for a job. If you're in one of the finalists of the hackathon, probably you'll have blockchain company that come to you and offer you some job. So yeah, hackathons are really awesome for that. Next news. So Gitcoin funding round will end on October 2nd. So Gitcoin, this is a mechanism to finance open source projects. So one of the big problem with open source is that you have all these developers who volunteer to build project for free, but they never get paid. So Gitcoin created a mechanism on the blockchain to receive funding, so you can pay in crypto with Ether, DAI, etc. So it's really a good way to give back to some project you like. So let's see what are the project here. Yeah, so we can Ethereum news, the newsletter of one of the most famous newsletter of Ethereum. You have many open source projects. So if you like one of them, you can send them some DAI. Also, they have this system of matching. So when you send some funding to a project, the Ethereum Foundation matches your contribution, but it's not one for one. It's much more than this. Let's see, like if I see week in Ethereum, for example, so for example, if you invest 1 DAI, the match is 189 DAI. This is called quadratic funding. So this is a way to boost basically your contribution. And also, by the way, if you are creating your own open source project, you can use Gitcoin and get some funding. Okay. So next, just before the chat, I want to ask you to give me some love. So someone on Twitter asked, what is your favorite Ethereum crypto newsletter? So you know what to answer, right? So put this in the chat. Give me some love. All right, so now we'll do the Q&A. I'll quickly put the link of my 2 courses, 6-figure blockchain dev and profitable flash loan. All right, so going up in the chat, I'm gonna answer all the questions. So someone said make a video on SushiSwap yield farming clone. Yeah, I could do that, I guess. The problem is forking is I thought you asked me forking. No, yield farming. Okay, well actually what I did a video about forking Uniswap, and there was in this tutorial there was a moment where I explained how to give reward. So that was very similar to yield farming. So yeah, I mean you can check out this tutorial on forking Uniswap, because what I explain is same thing as yield farming. Yeah. All right. Then what do you think? Akshk is asking me, what do you think about Kucoin hack of 150 million worth token? There has to be a way to handle attacks. Well, there is already a way. So the way exchanges can protect themselves is they have this system of cold and hot wallets. So they have 2 wallets. So the hot wallet is the wallet that is connected to directly to the trading operation, and at the end of each day, so a lot of the coin of these hot wallets are transferred into a cold wallet, and this cold wallet is much more secure. It's not connected programmatically to the rest of the exchange. It's controlled only by humans, and this is a more complex procedure where oftentimes several people need to provide private keys. And so when the money of the hot wallet is too low to provide enough liquidity, then somebody of the exchange is going to transfer some liquidity from the cold wallet to the hot wallets. But in the hack of Kucoins, the 150 millions, they were stolen not from the cold wallet, but from the hot wallet. So that means maybe they need to make the threshold of the hot wallet lower. Like instead of keeping a few hundred millions, maybe it needs to be only a few tens of millions. But after it poses some other problem in terms of how you manage your exchange, because if when the trader wants to trade and the hot wallet is empty, the trade is going to fail. So there are also some operational problem. All right. What is your price prediction for UNI? Okay, so very difficult to say this, but just I can say in general that Uniswap is a very solid DeFi project, and yeah, I really believe in their ability to add value long term. So yeah, I would say if you can keep UNI for a long time, like at least 1 year, I mean, I think it's gonna go up. Chloe is saying sharded NFT are pretty cool. Turn ERC721 back into an ERC. Well, by wrapping it and splitting it into fungible shards. Well, it seems super advanced. I need to research this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I know, Chloe, you are the expert in NFT. Toyochuku says, hey Julian, is it possible to assign ownership of a governance token to a contract sent for yield farming without giving the contract all of the token total supply? I mean, you can just mint some new governance token. So you start with 0 governance token, and then there is some yield farming, and the tokens are not transferred, but they are minted. I don't know if it's what you meant. How do I check yield farming on Etherscan? They have a page. They've added a page for yield farming where they show you the latest yield farming opportunity, I believe. Wapaka say, hey, bonjour, hey, Wapaka. Then Chloe agreed, I would love to see some video analyzing flash loan or trade on chain with Etherscan. I tried it again and I'm lost at times. Yeah, I mean, if you guys find on Twitter, you find some interesting transaction, you can, I mean, for those who are students of my courses, you can put it in the Discord and I can have a look. Otherwise, for the other one, you can send me the link on Twitter or put a comment on my channel and I can try to find if there is anything interesting. Siyam Tanda saying how to do programmatic liquidation with flash loan. You can use the bot of Aave, and I have a tutorial on that on my channel. Oh yeah, Fox saying Redmond. Yeah, I think it's not Redwood. I think it's Redmond. Yeah, I'm confused. Fox is asking which popular project used Drizzle. It's a really good question. I don't know. I wanted to check Drizzle, but they didn't convince me. I haven't used Drizzle for a while. I don't know where, how well maintained is it. Yeah, I'm gonna check back with how the project is doing, and then I'm gonna let you guys know. Chloe saying love Gitcoin. Yeah, Gitcoin. I think Gitcoin is really solving a very important problem: the funding of open source. Many people are unaware of this, but yeah, I think they have a bright future. Hodl saying hi. Hey Hodl, One Piece short prediction. Yes man, Sushi Swap fork on testnet please. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it. Sinobai say what would be the content of the upcoming DeFi course? Yeah, good question. So I thought of doing 3 sections, like a first section on what I call DeFi building blocks. So basically I want to teach the underlying concept that exists in DeFi, like so of course tokens, but the liquidity pools, yield farming, flash loan, collateralization, really the very foundational principle. The way I'm going to teach this is outside of any specific project, because when you study a specific project, it starts to be more complex. So you're gonna have this section about these building blocks, and second section will be how to integrate with specific DeFi projects. So Uniswap, of course, Compound, Aave maybe, so that you can have something a little bit more specific to work on. And final section probably be a project that ties everything together. So maybe I'm going to do a decentralized exchange, but really of second generation with all the latest feature, where you have maybe a feature where it auto invests the liquidity by using maybe Yearn Finance, and maybe also it will have some flash loan feature. So yeah, an exchange, but I'm going to try to make it a little bit fancy. Yeah. Then Julian, I answer your letter and send you an offer of cooperation. Okay, I will see in the email. Avinash is asking, I completed the 6-figure blockchain course. What should I do next? Well, it depends. If you want to work as an employee, you can start to go for job hunting and start to pay attention to job offer and make a list of the companies you want to work for. And you can ask me advice in a Discord chat. Otherwise, if you want to build your own blockchain project, then you really need to get into DeFi. So I don't know if you followed the course on Flash Loan, like that would be a good idea to start doing something a little bit interesting in DeFi. And yeah, next, when I have my course on DeFi ready, check it out. Chuck Woody, in your new course, did you teach how to create a farming project, yield farming? Yeah, it's going to cover yield farming, the upcoming DeFi course. Smart income builder, is it possible to borrow an indefinite amount of money with a flash loan? No, this is limited by the size of the liquidity pool of the exchange. So if you use the flash loan of Uniswap, for example, and it has 10 million in liquidity, well, 10 million is the maximum you can borrow. But probably you're not going to be limited by this. It's going to be probably enough for what you need. And can we just make a very high flash loan and run an arbitrage and make a very high profit? But the thing is, when so actually this is the other way around. The more money you use to make an arbitrage, the more difficult it gets, because when you use a lot of very large order, it moves the market, it changes the price of the market, and so it might destroy your arbitrage opportunity. So yeah, you want to find a sort of compromise between, you want to find an amount that is high enough so that you can make a nice profit, but at the same time you don't want to trade an amount that is too big that will move the market and ruin your arbitrage opportunity. To say, I need to pass DeFi transaction. Okay, well, I need to pass DeFi transaction data, populate in DB. How do you do this? Please suggest some design API ideas. Yeah, I mean, I can't, dude, I can tell you this like this in 30 seconds. This is like a very complex question. Xenobite saying, sorry, another question. What is the necessary economics, financial knowledge I need for DeFi programming and to create an ERC tokens? Good question. I would say okay, so to create an ERC22 token, you don't need any economics, financial knowledge. For DeFi programming, I would say not necessarily in terms of economic, financial, more in terms of trading. So get to know the basics of trading. Maybe you can study how would you buy and sell stock? Like, what are the different kind of order, like limit order, market order, how you specify the different parameter of the order. Like, try to get some to learn from the traditional finance world, and this will give you really some basics. And then after, you will see how you can convert this to the world of DeFi. That will be enough. Neeraj, if I release a new token into one of the dexes, how does the value of the token is determined? So all these decentralized exchanges, they have what they call an automated market maker. So this is an algorithm in the smart contract that determine the price automatically. We also call this the constant product formula. So it depends on the relative value of the two assets. And actually, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the smart contract of Uniswap. So probably I will spend more time on this pricing function. Neeraj, my first question got skipped twice in this session. Any particular reason, Julian? Oh, no, I mean, I guess this is, you're just unlucky, man. Yeah, so I answer your first question. How about the first question? Neeraj. I don't see your first question, man. Just say hey here. What was your first question? I can't see it. And to say, oh, just point to some resource to pass a DeFi transaction. No, like this is more complex. I can't tell you like this. I will need to think about it. Like Ethereum transaction are quite complex actually. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, if this is it, okay. Well, it's cool. Neeraj saying, okay, that was your first question, so I answer your question. Yeah. So, yeah, no, too. I don't really. We need to spend more time to understand your question. So maybe you can send me an email and be more specific about what you want. But like this, I can really answer. All right, guys. Well, I think this is it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon this week for other video on my channel. Cheers. Peace out.